This is Turkish news, and it's covering the same story that I talked about earlier about the two Russians who went from St. Lawrence's Island across to Alaska and have appealed for asylum in America. And it's a very interesting take. Turkish news is now running a story that these two people from Russia had never been drafted into the army, and that instead they were criminals, probably involved in drugs, that they had debts which meant that they were not allowed out of the country, and therefore the Russian embassy has been in touch with the American consulate, the American representatives in Alaska, to get these two people to be returned to Russia. So this is a Russian sort of fight back against the extraordinary news that here was an example of what Russians would do to avoid dictator Putin's extraordinary mobilization of young men. I suppose it's entirely up to you which version of this you believe, and we wait to see whether or not the American diplomatic system responds to Russia's requests to return these two young men. It's very interesting, isn't it? Here we've got Russia saying, you know, this is an illegal exit, and we're thinking of a Russia that obeys the national rules. That, for example, wouldn't come to the UK and try and poison people in Salisbury with Novichok. A Russian that wouldn't invade a country when it says it's not going to invade a country, another sovereign country. A Russia, the list is endless. A Russia that bombs its own civilians. A Russia that uses appalling gas in Syria. I could go on. Look, the story's changed. It's become so much more interesting. Off you go. Bye bye.